Growing up, did you ever see a movie or a show or see something that you thought in your head, man, I would love to have this. I would absolutely love to have this, but you knew it was almost impossible to get it. But not today. I am here to tell you that one of my absolute grails of all time when it comes to movie props is here. All right, so if you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of the movie The Lost Boys. Absolutely love The Lost Boys. One of my all-time favorite movies, if not maybe my favorite horror movie of all time. So as you know, I've talked about The Lost Boys plenty of times on this channel, but one of the things from that movie that I always wanted, always dreamed of having, was the jacket from Marco, aka Alex Winter. I always found that to be like the raddest jacket of all time. I think I even did a podcast episode on the Radpack podcast talking about movie jackets, and I think I ranked that as number one. It's just, everything about it is just so cool. It feels so 80s. It's one of those things where it's like, it was just mind-blowing that this thing even existed and the amount of time it would have taken to create something like that. So I want to rewind this a little bit and tell a story that started probably 10 years ago. I have a friendship with Vincent, pro wrestler Vinny Marseglia, aka Vincent the Horror King. You may have seen him on places like Ring of Honor, AEW, stuff like that. He is the leader of the Righteous. Well, Vinny and I used to do a little independent wrestling together back in the day, and we became friendly for our love of horror movies, for our love of The Lost Boys. So him and I became friends many, many years ago. He's actually been on this channel when I first started it, talking about Lost Boys props and stuff like that. And about 10 years ago, he decided to take it upon himself to create all the jackets from The Lost Boys. Now, knowing he would never find them, nor be able to afford the real thing, he decided that he was going to go through an undertaking of creating these jackets. And he has them sitting proudly at his house. They're on mannequins. They look really, really cool. He's super, super talented. But the hardest one to find, well, the hardest one to make was Alex Winter's jacket from that movie, because there was just so much to it. It started off as a denim jacket, and then it had all these patches and tapestries and all that stuff, which, again, at the time, 10 years ago, was super hard to find, but he went on a mission to find all these tapestries and patches and create his Marco jacket. Now, that was the first time I'd ever seen something like that in person, and I was absolutely floored and stunned and jealous of this jacket he once had. Even much so when he was on the channel, I even kept saying, like, man, when are you going to sell me that jacket? When are you going to do this? You know, and what he said to me back then was, he's like, hey, listen, I'm going to try to make a second one for you. The hardest thing is trying to find all these patches, all these tapestries and stuff like that. But let's go on a mission to search eBay. I'll give you a list of the ones to look for. And we ended up kind of piecing most of it together for a while, but we were still missing a lot of big things. And what ended up happening was he got back into wrestling at that time and really had to move down south and was doing Ring of Honor and stuff like that. So his priorities changed at that point, and we kind of just forgot about it. And every once in a while I'd bust his balls about the jacket and whatnot. But he recently messaged me. Now think about this, was like 10 years ago. I had bought a couple patches on eBay. He'd bought some patches on eBay, and that was it. And he reached out to me like probably, I'm going to say 2 months ago. And he said, hey man, I'm going to never get to this jacket. I don't have the time to even find anything else for this jacket, but I have bags of what I had bought for this jacket throughout the years. And he's like, it'll never happen, but if you want these, you know, I can sell these to you and you can try to see if you can do it yourself. And I looked at it and I was like, oh man, like what an undertaking this is going to be. But I looked and I was like, wow, he has so many of the big money tapestries, which now are even harder to find 10 years in the future, and are going for crazier money if you were to find these things. So I said, you know what? I threw him an offer. He accepted it and sent it my way, but there was stuff missing. So during that time, I had bought the denim jacket to use as my base, got all the big important stuff sent from him. And then I had to kind of piece together some of the little patches that we were missing from the bundle. I was able to kind of score some off eBay and stuff. And then it became time to put this thing together. Now, you think I'm that talented? You think I can put this thing together off a couple screenshots? We did some research online. We found different screenshots. Sean Clark actually owns the actual jacket from this movie. I think there was 3 stunt jackets. He owns one. And they were all a little bit different too, because when you search for them, you find that like some things are tweaked here and there, but for the most part, most of them are pretty much designed the exact same way. So I used a lot of reference photos that I found on Google, reference photos from Sean Clark's video, and stuff like that. And I went to my mother, who is super, super talented when it comes to this kind of stuff. And she's retired. And I said, listen, here's what I'm looking to do. Do you think you could put this together? So we laid all the stuff out and she got to work on it. And it probably took about a month of labor and researching and stuff like that. But this thing is done and this thing is here. Look at this. The jacket. This is probably, I'm going to say, one of the most spot-on replicas I think ever made. Now, I have done some research and there are some videos of some people putting these together. But again, you run into trouble when you can't find specific tapestries. And the fact that we had some of these tapestries from 10 years ago actually were a big help, because there are some people out there that might do some reproduction ones that don't really look exactly the same. I think on Etsy, there's a girl that maybe can do these jackets. They're huge, huge money. And she even specifies, listen, I don't know if I can get a lot of these things, and if I do, they're going to cost a lot of money if I can find them. But like some of the big ones, like this girl here, this one is big. If you look, there's like this tiger one or this like leopard on the side here. That's a big one. Like these things are almost like rugs. Like they're not just patches. Like these are literal rugs that you have to purchase. There's one here of like the bullfighters on the side. But man, look at this. I mean, unfreaking believable. Now, one of the biggest things is that Alex Winter's jacket, Marco's jacket, he was a size small. When Sean Clark put that jacket on, it was like he couldn't fit in it. Alex was a very small kid back then. So I wanted to make sure that I could actually wear this. So I ended up getting it to a size that we could do everything we wanted to do with the patches, and it could fit me. So I'm going to throw this thing on and showcase this to you guys now. I am just still in awe that I have this in my collection. It was always one of those things like, I wish and I hope I could get this someday, but there's no way in heck it would ever be a possibility, especially for something like the price. Like, for what Sean said he spent on these jackets, these real jackets, is insane. And even if you try to find a replica, and for someone to replicate this for you, I mean, you're talking couple $1,000s. I'm going to tell you right now, when it's all said and done, this jacket with everything cost me under $500. Now guys, check this out. How rad is this jacket? Let me see if I can back up a little bit here and show you guys this jacket. Look at how sick this is. I mean, I am still in awe that I have this. Now you're like, what are you going to do with this? I mean, look at how cool this is. I mean, I want it to fit because you never know. I could wear this to a convention. I could do a costume. I could do a cosplay. But there's something about this jacket that I just absolutely love. And man, it fits great. This thing is heavy though. With all these tapestries and patches on it, like this thing is very, very heavy. But as you can see, it's a little bit short like he has in the movie. But it does fit. It's a little tight to maneuver around, but it is the best I think I could do. And I'm going to go on record to say I think this is probably one of the most accurate replica jackets to ever exist. I mean, look at this. Now, to prove that, or to see if maybe I'm missing some small things here and there that I could not find, or we could not find off the internet through pictures, I'm going to have Sean Clark come on this show and we're going to go live and he's going to show me the original versus the replica, and we're going to kind of see if there's anything that maybe I'm missing that I need to get to add somewhere on this jacket. But guys, absolutely stunning of a jacket. Now I just got to find the best place for it. I could bag it up, put it in a closet. I could get a mannequin, but that just revolves me having to find a place to put it. But like I said before in another video, I'm going to hopefully redesign some of the stuff over here so I can add some cool props like this to make the room extra special. But guys, thank you for checking this out. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Like I said, I could not have made this a reality without people like Vinny and my mother who put this all together once we had all the material, because I could not put this all together at all. I'm just not that talented. So thank you guys. And again, people on the internet that had pictures up, replica photos, production photos, Alex Winter's photos, Sean Clark's video, like all that stuff really did help make this a reality. So guys, do not go anywhere. Let me know what you think about this. Is there anything else that you felt in your life where you saw a movie and you're like, oh my God, I would love to get a replica of that? Besides this, the big one for me was the Child's Play Chucky doll, the Good Guy doll, which Trick or Treat Studios did come out with back in the day. And I was totally flawed and jumping on my seat being like, I always wanted an actual 1-to-1 scale Chucky doll. But other than that, this is one of those items, guys, that is in my collection, and I cannot be more excited. So all you Lost Boys fans, that is the story of how I acquired this replica Marco jacket. I did a reel on Instagram, on Facebook, and people were going crazy saying, where did you get that? How can I get one? I'm going to tell you right now, I've gotten so many messages after that video being like, can you make me one and how much would it cost? Guys, I don't think it could be made. I really don't at this point in 2025 to find all of these tapestries. I mean, you're going to pay, like I said, thousands of dollars. But I mean, if anybody's willing to do that and buy all the tapestries, buy the jacket and ship it over, I could talk to the rad mom and see how much it would cost to put one of these together again. But guys, I don't think that's going to be a possibility, but I am stoked to have it. Now make sure you come back because again, Sean Clark's going to come on here live and we're going to go back and forth, just kind of talking about these jackets and to see if there's anything big that I forgot. Guys, now thank you for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born2beRad, and like always, stay